How has one of the greatest nations on earth found itself being led by the quality of people that we have allowed in those positions? Governmental institutions being headed by people whose only skill is how to win elections, and others nominated to repay political favors, not because they have the slightest qualifications worthy of those positions. And this is a country filled with some of the most brilliant minds on the continent. Nigerians excelling in different parts of the world. How can that same country then pick leaders who can speak brilliantly for 10 minutes unaided? How did that same country and citizens say things like, even if it's NEPA certificate, we will vote him? Many would say that we should be ashamed of ourselves, because look at where NEPA certificate has brought Nigeria. I mean, what spirit really took over Nigerians to make such statements, including, of course, Victor Ekpeba there? A nation with some of the most brilliant people on earth. To have WAEC, if you remember, bring a certificate to our president in Aso Rock, and they took pictures with it as something to be proud of. Nigeria. The same Nigeria that has produced the likes of Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, Akinwumi Adesina, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Chimamanda Adichie, Philip Emeagwali, Dora Akunyili, Seyi Oyeshola, many of them, many others. How did that same country produce leaders back to back that had questions about their certificates? Again, you pay a price every time you lower your standards, and Nigerians must improve on the quality of persons in leadership positions. We moved from President Buhari to now President Tinubu, and it's pretty clear that President Tinubu is doing the same thing as his predecessor, which is avoiding the media, avoiding the press. Our current president and past presidents, take a look across, don't have one single video where they sat with the media or a broad spectrum of Nigerians and just spoke brilliantly for 1 hour, convincing Nigerians. There's nowhere you'll find clips of Nigeria's current president speaking brilliantly to the issues that Nigerians face.
I hear in Nigeria economists and politicians telling me that the GDP of Nigeria is 500 billion United States dollars, and that therefore it is the biggest economy in the world. I am reminded of the words of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, my friend, when he says, in a debate between dwarfs, what is the value of one dwarf saying I'm taller than the other dwarfs? You are still a dwarf. This Nigeria is capable in 5 years of becoming a 3 trillion GDP economy. The fundamentals are there. Talk of human resource. And I think it is, my sister, you go to anywhere in the world, tell me, engineering, artificial intelligence, space, Nigerians. The saying goes, if you go to any part of the world and you do not find a Nigerian, run away from there. Because there is nothing to be done there. It is these Nigerians who will move the country. I keep on reminding my Nigerian friends, you say you are 220 million. No, you are not. I suspect you are 300 million. And if my suspicion is correct, you owe this region and this continent the talent. You know, when people talk about instability in Nigeria, I ask them, can you handle refugees from Nigeria? Can you? You cannot. They'll overwhelm the entire West Africa. So it is in Africans' genuine desire that Nigeria remains great and becomes great. All the ingredients are there. Writing in 1983, Chinua Achebe, in his book, The Trouble with Nigeria, said that it is simply and squarely a problem of leadership. That is an African problem, and I also want to say it is also a problem of followership. Before the Ezemwe started speaking, he talked about what is expected of him in the village. When you are appointed into a public office in Africa, they actually expect you to be a thief. And if you don't steal, they say you are not wise. So in the minds of many people in Africa, Abuja and Lagos are hunting grounds where they send their sons and daughters to steal, to take antelopes, which they share in the village. That thinking must change, because service for humanity is what we must look at. And I have no doubt in my mind that Africa can do it. When I look at Africa and I look at Nigeria, I see an Africa that is capable of rising, because our sons and daughters now present in the continent and even in the diaspora. You go and see the Africans in the diaspora, whether they are in Antigua and Barbuda, and my good friend here, the ambassador of Antigua and Barbuda, Wallace Williams, Trinidad and Tobago, will agree with me in that regard. You go to St. Vincent's and Grenadines, you go to Jamaica, everybody now wants to come and invest in Africa. But we must make the circumstances right. So we must improve our politics. We must make our laws enabling. We must improve our agriculture. We must improve our health. We must improve our education system. We must improve the quality of the environment, so that we stop our young men and women dying in the Mediterranean Sea, dying off the coast of Dhaka, going into modern day slavery in Saudi Arabia, in that part of the world. It can be done. We have seen